Has the Quran really compared women to farmlands? After a long time, I suddenly ran into Niluda at Shahbagh. I didn't notice him at first. He tapped me on the head from behind and said, "What's up, Mr. Poet?" I turned around and saw him standing there with a stack of books in his hand. The thick, black-rimmed glasses on his face made him look like an old-school teacher. He was wearing a brown t-shirt. I was caught off guard. "Hey, big brother. How are you?" "I'm good. And you?" "Good." Exchanging pleasantries, we moved to a quieter spot. "Where's Sajid?" Niluda asked. Honestly, I had no idea where Sajid was. A moment ago, he was right beside me. I went to recharge my phone, and when I returned, he had disappeared. I had been calling him for a while, even though I knew he wouldn't answer. Still, I kept trying like a fool. How long could I keep standing under this scorching sun? "Maybe he's around here somewhere," I replied. And just then, Sajid appeared out of nowhere, just like he'd vanished. Sometimes he really feels like a character out of a novel. I felt like grabbing him by the ear and asking why he didn't pick up my calls. Trying to hold back my frustration, I asked, "Why didn't you answer the phone?" He didn't even acknowledge my question. He simply extended his hand to shake hands with Niluda. That made me even angrier. I can tolerate many things in this world, but being ignored in front of others, especially in front of someone I respect, is something I just can't accept. Had Niluda not been around, I might have punched him. Still trying to control my temper, I asked again, "Why didn't you answer the phone?" A tea vendor passed by. Sajid stopped him and turned to Niluda. "Tea, Niluda?" "Sure, why not?" he replied. Then Sajid turned to me. "Will you have one?" I was fuming. After ignoring me so blatantly, he had the audacity to offer me tea. "No, I won't," I snapped. Ignoring me, Sajid and Niluda grabbed their cups and sat on a nearby bench. I followed them. "So, where have you been all this time?" Sajid asked. "I was around. Just staying under the radar," Niluda replied, laughing. "Were you in hiding?" Niluda had always been cheerful and could laugh at almost anything. Hearing this, he laughed and said, "Do you think I'm some kind of fugitive?" "No, but the way you suddenly disappeared from everything, I figured maybe you went off the grid." As they chatted, I sat quietly next to Niluda, sulking. At one point, Niluda said, "It's good I ran into you. I've been meaning to talk to you for a while." "You were looking for me?" Sajid asked, surprised. "Yes," said Niluda seriously. "Why?" "I want your opinion on something." "What is it?" Sajid asked curiously. "You know I work on women's rights, empowerment, safety. It's my passion," said Niluda. "Of course. I know that." "Then you'll agree that wherever we see women being disrespected, be it in the name of religion or otherwise, we must protest, right?" "Right." "Then tell me, how do you feel about a religious scripture that compares women to farmland and says you can use them however you wish? Doesn't that sound problematic?" Sajid paused for a moment. I could tell he was gearing up for a long explanation. I didn't want to hear it. I just wanted to walk away, but I couldn't, not with a respected senior in front of me. So, I braced myself. "You must be referring to Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 223, right?" Sajid asked. "I don't know exactly where in the Quran," Niluda replied. "But I've heard such verses exist. And if they do you agree with them, Sajid?" "What I believe isn't important," Sajid replied. "What matters is, what do you understand from the verse?" "It's pretty clear, isn't it?" Niluda said. "It literally says women are your farmland. Use them however you want. What could be more degrading?" Sajid smiled. "Why so angry, da? I always saw you as a calm and composed man. Don't jump to conclusions." "Well, isn't this outrageous? You're misunderstanding the verse. You're saying there's another explanation?" "Yes." "Then explain it." Sajid cleared his throat and began. "The verse says, 'Your wives are a tilth for you, so go to your tilth when or how you will.' Now, at first glance, it might sound like the Quran is reducing women to farmland and giving men full liberty to use them. But let's look deeper. First, remember, The Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, right? Yes. Then we must understand it the way he understood it. And to do that, we must know the historical context of the verse. Back then, the Jews in Arabia had a superstition. They believed that if a man had intercourse with his wife from behind, not anal, but vaginally from the rear position, the resulting child would be cross-eyed or deformed. They considered it unlawful. Now, when Muslim men married women from Medina, some of whom were influenced by Jewish traditions, they refused such intercourse. This caused confusion. And to remove that superstition, this verse was revealed. Your wives are a tilth for you. Meaning, you may approach your wives from any position, as long as it's lawful, and no harm will come from it. So, the real purpose of the verse was to eliminate a superstition, not to degrade women. Niluda looked a bit puzzled. Can you explain that in simpler terms? Sajid smiled. Okay. You know how in our villages, there's a myth that if a pregnant woman stands during a solar eclipse, her baby will be born disabled? Now, if I say, during an eclipse, stand however you want, does that mean I'm limiting her to just standing? No, it simply means, do whatever you want, stand, sit, walk. The point is, your actions during the eclipse won't affect your baby. Likewise, the Quran was saying, don't be bound by baseless taboos. Approach your wives however you wish, it's fine. The verse is not about control or objectification. It's about breaking a harmful myth. Niluda went silent.